Okay, so since I wasn't recording, let me just review it now and go over how this works. Zooming out, we do have quite a bit of code already because I let Copilot add stuff for me, so it looks like a lot of stuff. So far, this page has 239 lines, which it's not a huge amount, but a little bit more than I was aiming for. I think if let's move the CSS out of here, kind of simplify it a little bit more. I'll just create a link. Type equals text slash CSS. RL equals style sheet. href equals styles.css. And we're in index. We're here, right? Oh no, we're not here. We're inside Lander 3000. So inside Lander 3000, I'm going to create a new file called styles.css. If it's going to get more complicated, you should probably, instead of a new file, create a new folder called CSS and then put styles.css in there actually. And then here put CSS / styles.css just to be more organized. And then we'll take all this stuff, cut it out, and paste it in here, but delete the HTML tags. Pressing Shift Tab to bring it to one tab to the left. Not sure why it's not auto formatting it. Usually it's supposed to auto format when you save. If it doesn't, usually means there's some sort of error or something. No problems though, so not sure why it's not auto fixing it. Like if I do this and I save, okay, I guess it is doing it. I guess it doesn't care about if you have extra tabs for the whole thing, it just leaves it. Okay. All right, that makes our HTML file a little bit shorter. Now it's 96 lines. We could also take the JavaScript portion of this out. So all this script, we'll leave the script tag. We'll just take the code inside. I'll cut it. Then I'll say, yeah, source equals js/quiz.js. So it'll also be easier to share with you, I think. And then inside Lander 3000, I'll make a new folder called JS. And inside that, quiz.js. And inside that, paste in the JavaScript. Now we're down to 46 lines in the HTML because we took out the CSS and the JavaScript and left it with just the HTML. And instead of putting the CSS directly in here, we have a link to it. And instead of putting the JavaScript directly in here, we have a link to the JavaScript. And the CSS always goes up here in the head. You could pretty much put the script tag anywhere you want, but the reason why it's usually at the end is because this might have stuff in there that takes a while to load. So you usually put it at the end so that all the visual stuff comes up first. So that makes it seem like your website's loading quicker. It's the only reason we put it down here. But let's check it out. So we have, let's minimize everything. So we have our section for the hero. Let's open that up. Inside that we have a left and a right. Left side, all that is the image, right? That image of this guy. I should probably add some more CSS to. Actually, it's fine. I don't know if it needs to be more centered, but that's the picture on the left side. And then on the right side is all this stuff right now. We've got the compressor 3000, that's this H1. Let me minimize this. There's that H1, tired of back problems. There's a paragraph for this stuff. We have a button, start button. And all of that is inside a div called text content. Okay. And this button has an ID of start quiz button. Then underneath that there's quiz container. We don't see the quiz here, right? Because in my CSS I have the quiz hidden. So that's why you're not seeing it. But the quiz container, all that has is this div with the class of card, an H2 with a class ID of question, and a unordered list with the ID of answers. Okay. When I click start, it brings up the quiz container. It hides the text container, adds a class of hide to this, so it hides it. And then for the quiz container, it basically adds a class of show and shows that one. And that's how we get it to hide this and show this. And if you want to see how that exactly works, it's in the JavaScript. So there should be something here for hide. Start quiz button dot add event listener click. So if we click on start quiz, we're going to grab the text content container. So whatever has a class of text content, we're going to add class of hide to the class list. That's how that works. And then the show part, actually we don't have a show. Instead, we just do quiz container dot style dot display equals block. So we directly change the CSS to show it, because if you look at styles.css, quiz container has display none by default. So we're just changing that to block with the JavaScript. Okay. All right, and the next is clicking the button. What happens? And then styling it. That's just CSS. We added like a hover effect, so when we hover over the button, we get some interaction. But once I click one of the answers, it shows the next answer. And once I click the next answer and there's no more answers left, it says thank you for completing the quiz. And the way that works, again, I explained it earlier, but I wasn't recording, so briefly explain it again. We go to the JavaScript. This is where all that magic happens. Here's the two questions in the quiz. Okay, these are inside something called an array, which is how you create lists in JavaScript. It has two items separated with this little comma. Here's the first one, here's the second one. That's question 1 with all its answers, question 2 with all its answers. This is the index for the questions. 0 is where you start counting from, and then index 1 would be the second question. So when it first loads, you're at index 0. When you click on one of the questions, so here's current answers dot for each, create an li element, the answer text. Okay, so here's where that happens. We add a click event to the answers. When we click on it, current index plus plus means add 1 to that, so we get the next question. And if we're still under 2, which is the length of the quiz, 0, 1, 2, so if we're on 0 or we're on 1, we're going to load the question. But if we're at 2, because we keep adding 1 to the question every time we call load questions, if we get to 2 with this, so when this becomes 2, this is going to be false at that point. So 2 is not less than 2. This is going to be a false. So it's not going to do this. Instead, it's going to do this, which is just inside the quiz container, just change the HTML to show an H2 that says, thank you for completing the quiz. Make sense? So that's all that's happening. Don't worry too much about it because this is not a JavaScript class. Okay? I just want to take out the confusion of that in case you are curious to know how it works. So when you understand how it works, then you can understand how to add questions and change things. So for example, we only have 2 questions. Oops, why is it empty? Because I probably forgot to. What did I do? Oh, because I touched something in the JavaScript. There we go. Okay. I think it's because I changed this to 2. Yeah. Okay, so 0. Keep that at 0. So when I click, we only have 2 questions. I want to add another question. So to add another question, since we know that the questions are here in the quiz data, I want to add a third question. And basically just copy this, put a comma here and paste it. Now we have a third question, but we got to change it. It's not the same question. So what activities aggravate your back pain? And then for the answers, we come up with 3 more. Sitting for long periods, lifting, physical exercise. Add 1 more question. Have you tried any treatments for your back pain? Physical therapy, medication, none. Should add like an all of the above or all. I'll keep it with 5. 5's enough for me, I think. And are we keeping track of how many questions we have and which one we're on? Oh, we broke something. When you break something in JavaScript, you click a button, nothing's happening. When you inspect, check the console, you'll notice, okay, unexpected token. I put a curly bracket somewhere. Quiz JS 43. Quiz JS 43. I forgot to put a comma right there. Okay, what is your primary back issue? Lower back, occasional, lifting, and none. Thank you for completing the quiz. So this we could improve. Remember we were looking at what makes these quizzes successful the other day. One of the things is letting the user know like how long it's gonna take or how many questions they have left. So maybe somewhere we could add like question 1 of 5 And with the JavaScript, it shouldn't be too difficult. We'll have to add a container somewhere, maybe above or below. I don't know. I think where's the best place to add the counter. This is the quiz container. We could maybe add it at the top of the quiz container, above the card. So we'll create a div here. Give it a class equals question. We're gonna put. I should put counter. Counter. Question. And there's going to be a span in there, current question of total questions. This should not be a 3. It should be a 5. Or we could put, we could change this 5 with JavaScript to be whatever the total number of questions is. But it could be 5 by default. So it's going to say question, basically 1 of 5 first. 1 of 5. That's what it's going to look like at the end. Question 1 of 5, question 2 of 5. Help us keep track. So that means this span right here, this is the only thing that's really going to change out of all this. The current question. It's going to start with 1 and it's going to go up to 5. So it has an ID of current question. That means we're going to need to go to our JavaScript, and then whatever has an ID of current question in there, we got to update it to have the current index that we're on plus 1, because index counts from 0. We don't want to say question 0 of 5, so we'll add 1 to it. Yeah, it'll start with 1, and then when we click the question button to load the question, in addition to like increasing the index, current question index, we'll also do this document.get element by ID current question dot text content equals current question index plus 1. Remember, because we don't want to count from 0 on the question. So now if I click start, it says question 1 of 5, question 2 of 5, question 3, 4, and then you're done. So we added a little bit of improvement there. We need to add some CSS to make it look nicer too. So let's go to the HTML counter. So counter and current question and total questions. Go to our CSS. And this is inside quiz container, so we could put it inside this. That's a little bit better. Added some padding around it, but let's also text align, center it. And it would also be cool if, at the end of the quiz you link to something, because right now it just does nothing. Just says thank you for completing. But at that point you should have like a shop now button or like a product that you're recommending, and then they can click to buy that product instead of thank you for completing the quiz. Or we could do it in addition to that. So we'll keep the thank you for completing the quiz. I'll go to the JavaScript again because that's where this is all happening. And we could create like a recommended product. Let recommendation recommended product equal okay. We have some simple recommendation logic based on answers. So if current question index is greater than 0, recommended product. Wait, why is it? That's not right. Who cares if it's greater than 0? That's not right. Let's delete that. It's not always coming up with good answers, but create an object. We'll have like a picture of it and then um, uh, the name and then a link. So we need a picture, name, and link. So picture or image. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna see if it works. Don't worry about what it's for now. There we go. So thank you for completing the quiz. Recommended product, decompressor 3000. Based on your answers, we recommend decompressor 3000 to help alleviate your back pain. Learn more. Maybe shop now, not learn more. Buy now. Okay, and of course, product recommendation. We're adding this new thing. Let's create some new styles for it. So whatever has that class of product recommendation, give it some margin, padding, background. What else do we have in there? We're gonna have an H2, an image, a paragraph, and a link. Just letting the thing just give me some default stuff. I'm not even looking. It seems okay. Okay, recommended product. There's a picture, decompressor 3000 based on your answers. Buy now. I'll just modify whatever I don't like. So let's say I want that to be bigger and this to be smaller. Why isn't it changing? It's an H3, not an H2. Oh, this is the H2. This is the H. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong H. Okay. Not sure why the paragraph's so big. Probably because I don't know. We set the font size somewhere. 1.5, yeah, because we set it to 1.5 on anything on the right side. Let's go like 1.2. Refresh. I guess because I wanted this to be bigger, that's why. Fine, let's leave it at 1.5. Okay, the buy now button is kind of small. I want that to be bigger. So, the buy now button is a link. It's an A tag. So let's give it a background color. Make the background color this color. And the color can be white. Let's make the font size and the padding bigger. Give it a border radius to make it rounded. Make it a lot bigger. Let's say 2 EM. And what else? Let's make it center it with display block. Text line center. Give it some more margin too. There's no margin. Alright, I think that's good. Oh wait, I don't like these fonts being so bold. But whatever. Let's click buy now and it takes us to our website. That's weird. I had to refresh to get the new styles. Anyways, I think we could call it on that one. But that's a nice example. Some of you already submitted stuff. I'll take a look in a few minutes. But let's take I'm gonna share this file with you. I'm gonna update it. Actually, let's do that right now. So we made a bunch of changes. We're gonna make sure we track all those changes with the plus sign here, stage changes. So all the changes that I have, just click the plus sign, stage all changes, which is the same as git add star or dot for everything in the current directory, or star for just everything. git add all does the same as stage all changes. Okay. Next we do git commit -m, and then inside quotes we add a message like um, added quiz for what are we looking at? Lander 3000. Okay, or you could put that same message up here and then hit commit, it'll do the same thing. Okay, and then sync changes is just same as git push. However, it might not work for me right now because I did log out of my GitHub that I was in earlier. Actually, let's see, git push. Okay, it worked. Okay, cool. I didn't have to relog in or anything. So now if we check my GitHub, oh, there it is. So in my GitHub, if I refresh, there we go, Lander 3000 and all that other stuff. So if I go settings, pages, click this button, or let's do open in a new tab. Close these two. Click on decompressor. Oh, we didn't add a link to it, so we need to add the link to. We only have a link to the website. We don't have a link to the lander for decompressor 3000. But it would be lander 3000. So I could manually go to it because I know the name of the folder it's in, but I should add that link to the homepage. But here's the quiz. It's on my GitHub, so it updated pretty quickly. This still works, so it's looking good. I'm gonna share this with you, or why don't I? I'm not gonna give you a zip file this time. Gonna let you clone it. Or here, I'll give you the link. You could download a zip if you want, or you could clone it with git clone. Okay, and then I'll give you guys 10 minutes to absorb some of that information and ask questions. We'll take a break, maybe look at some of your work, and then I'll maybe keep the rest of the class to helping everyone out with their GitHub. So don't be afraid to ask questions. This be a good lab day for you because I don't know who's there on Saturday, but they might not be able to help you, so you should probably ask me today and Wednesday. Okay, I'll stop recording or pause for now. Okay, so some really good examples here. Looked at Gobi Health and Wellness. Selling a product, you want to show a nice big picture of the product. Shop now button. Not too bad this doesn't have a scroll to top. I keep having to manually do this. Gobi, then we got furniture, 50% off. So having a sale on your landing page, really good idea. Education, if it's a school you want people to join, you're gonna have, you know, a form to collect their information. Also for the other one, where was it? Um, Bariatric eating. What is this one? Yeah, it was this one. They want you to join their weight loss program, so they ask for your phone number on the landing page. Quick way to grab your phone number instead of you going to the website, looking around, not really doing anything, leaving, make you interested, get your phone number, and then they could try to get you later. Jet pet services. Again, pet service, so immediately call now. They want you to call them, or they want you to enter some information. What is your dog's name, breed, how old, continue. So it got a little interaction there. I'm skipping the SaaS finance and insurance just because I feel like none of you are gonna do a site like this. Save up to 30% on your car insurance in minutes. Okay, car insurance, so um, save, compare, call, save time, save money, get insured in 3 easy steps. Nice big pictures, big texts, and not too much to distract you. Just their goal is to get you to call them. See what Spotify's landing page looks like. Actually, this isn't the landing page. This just looks like Spotify. Well, but then again, Spotify is more of an app than a website. So I guess when you get to their website, they get you to log in, join, and then you get the app. What's good eggs? Good eggs. Why? A harmless harvest? What do they have to do with good eggs? Oh, it's like a grocery shopping website, and they're advertising harmless water. And so the landing page could be something promotional like this. Clicked on the link, claim your coconut water, and then I don't know, they get you to sign up for good eggs. But if you want your free or $20 off your coconut water or whatever offer they have, you gotta join. So landing page could just be advertising something like that. You click on it, takes you to the other page. More ideas, you guys. I know a landing page, first time hearing what it is, could be confusing, but these are all landing pages. It's just a separate page offering something more single focused than the home page. And also, you usually end up on the landing page by clicking an ad. Cool. Surf lessons, special offer. Use code HUGWAVES during checkout, get $5 off. View lessons and pricing. Let's look at more e-commerce because these are a little bit easier. or more relatable, I guess. Um, Clothing and apparel, let's check wool X. The softest wool we tested. Okay, so company that sells wool products. Shop now at the top, phone number, and then just telling you they got the softest wool and some pictures of the product and what makes their merino wool so magical. Shop, we got some reviews. These are some things that you might have on the homepage too, but you're gonna have other things on the homepage besides this. And maybe you don't want to advertise sales on the homepage, you put it here. Let's check this other website, Dribble. Um, any e-commerce stuff? What's e-tail? This one's cool, but it's got a 3D animation. Um, but get in touch. This isn't a separate page though. Let me see if they have an actual link to a landing page. What's this? Hey, these are too fancy. We're not gonna have animations most likely, but I think are all these animated? This one's not. Okay, it could also be very small, like you don't even have room to scroll. Just get to a single page like this, get the app, services, help, pricing, and nothing else. It's um, almost like just another ad, just bigger ad, more buttons. Anyways, hopefully that helps. Just look at examples and think of what you could do. I mean, this one, again, I'm trying to sell a product for helping your spine, so I made a lander that just has a quiz on it. Tired of having back problems? You take the quiz and we recommend a product. But if you don't want to make it interactive, you could do it like the other examples, or just have nice pictures, or just instead of asking the questions in a quiz like that, you could just have the questions listed on the page, big and centered, and then a buy now button at the bottom, or advertise a sale or anything. Okay, but it's gotta be simple, clean, straight to the point. That's gonna make it a good landing page.